Yeah, we got to check in, man, because that's not going to raise your state.
That's why you need a tribe. That's why you need people to call you on your shit.
Good
right?
teachers.
Good teachers. And like, I had this brilliant quote from somebody the other day. I forget who it was, but not my words, but somebody said something to the effect of, a lot of people think that in order to be a teacher, you need to have mastered a subject. You can only be a teacher if you're a master at it, right? Only learn from masters. And their comment was, well, that's absurd. It's like saying that your dad couldn't teach you how to play baseball as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, it's like, okay. So in that respect, like, if you are willing to become a student and learn from life, you can learn in every situation. From going to the liquor store to buying a bottle of wine and seeing that drunk out of the street begging for money so he can buy vodka, right? Like, you can learn from all these situations, and you don't need to learn from a master. And if you humble yourself, then in a simple conversation with somebody you might have judged before as beneath you, you can be actually listening and actually feeling and actually learning about yourself, about the reflection you get back, about the words they're saying. And if you believe in it, you can learn from the universe and from the divine, from everybody around you, because we're all expressions of it when you're in alignment, when you're in flow state, right? Depending on what you believe. But it's that idea of being a student. But I would urge every single person listening, if you aren't regularly reading or listening to audiobooks from masters of different topics that you're hoping to become better at, you're wasting an opportunity. Plain as that.
I agree with that. Yeah. We're so blessed.
We're so blessed. We're blessed and cursed with technology.
We're blessed and cursed.
It's like there are more distractions than ever. There's more access to information than ever. And I think this is something harder for the older generations, who would think like, oh, you're young, you don't know yet, you're young, you'll figure it out soon. It's like, nowadays, by the age of 30, you could have listened to hundreds of audiobooks from masters of all around the world, whereas 40 years ago, that was impossible. Literally impossible. You could not do it. Now it's in the palm of your hand. Now it's with you with wireless earbuds as you're walking next to the water doing push-ups, times have changed. But just because we're technologically advanced and just because we have these resources doesn't mean that we're all benefiting from them. So again, this is a call to action. If you don't have a teacher, if you don't have a spiritual teacher or even just a personal development teacher, a self-mastery teacher, go get one. Start at a very entry-level point. Start with Tony Robbins, Get the Edge. Start with something very simple, right? I remember the first time listening to that audiobook, it changed my life. Instead of going to a $5,000 conference, I had Tony in my ears, whispering to me all these different philosophies. And not all of them clicked, but some of them did. And some of them changed the course of my life. And ever since, I've been reaching out for information ravenously, because having these teachers, it is the thing that will help you in the storm when the darkness comes. Anthony DeMello, this book Awareness, incredible book. Read that book or listen to that audiobook. If you actually can understand the concepts he's talking about, you cannot be upset without knowing that you are the architect of your situation. You can't be, because he brings in all these different ways of thinking about it that help you to reshape your mind. He says, no matter how bad you have it right now, pretend you've got, I don't know, some disease, right? In 10 years, it's going to get really bad. Your liver's failing or something. Pretend that you owe $100,000 to the government and to other people. Pretend that your business isn't going well, your relationship failed, all these different things. This might be you watching, right? Sounds terrible, sounds shitty. You could be full of calamity. And he says it's all in your head, and that's hard to grasp. But then he says, well, there are many other people around the world who, if they're in your situation, they would not be as upset as you are. Many would be grateful because you have shoes, because you're not going to die of hunger today.
Yeah.
Right? And so every fabrication of pain you have is in your mind as an expectation of where you think you should be. Right? And without that expectation of I should be further ahead, I should be anywhere but here, you can't actually be upset with your situation, because if you can return to the now, you are in this moment. And that is a whole experience. You're here to hear these words, right? And he just reframes the mind. And for me, if I didn't have these teachers, and my life would be different.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be depressed. I'd be drinking a lot more booze. Might be on some Prozac, right? And I'd be shit scared that this Wuhan virus is coming to kill me, right? I'd be freaking out. Instead, I'm not, because you don't have to be, because statistically you're not going to die from it. Almost nobody is.
Take some vitamin D.
Take some vitamin D, some vitamin C, and some zinc. Get outside, breathe some fresh air, and change your belief. If you're telling yourself you're predisposed, change your victim mentality, right? To something more powerful, to something more beautiful, because you don't need to be afraid. Like that's what everybody wants you to be. You really don't need to be, but you're in charge of steering that ship.